Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are ready. I hope you all are excited. Today we're doing another My Collection series video. And we're focusing on all things The Flash. For those of you who don't know what this series is, I started it off pretty recently actually with Across the Spider-Verse, and you all seem to enjoy it, and I sure as shit enjoyed filming it, so I could not wait to get started on another one. Now, usually when it comes to collecting, we're moving on to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing very, very quickly, and I'm definitely guilty of that myself. This series allows me to just slow down a little bit, check out some custom pieces, do some kit bashing, put together a display for a new film, TV show, game, movie, whatever, based off figures that I, and chances are you, already have in the collection. We get to do a retrospective. We get to do a little bit of an updated look at some older figures, and that is one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this series in the first place. Plus to spotlight some third-party companies and insanely talented custom artists doing custom head sculpts and capes and other bits and pieces as well. Starting off with the villain of our display, it's General Zod from all the way back at the very start of the DCEU in Man of Steel. Getting to see Zod again in The Flash? I'm pretty excited to see that, honestly. I'm a huge fan of Man of Steel, and of Michael Shannon as General Zod. Some people back in the day, and even nowadays, said that Hot Toys did not nail it with this head sculpt. I understand, I like the expression. That coupled with the big, bulky armor, it makes him look kinda crazy and imposing. And the cape this time is decent. Not perfect, just decent, which is a win for Hot Toys. The armor, beautifully sculpted and painted with dry brushing absolutely everywhere and texture on the surface. It looks like mottled metal. The only complaint I have is, unfortunately, my version of Zod, his joints are really loose and he does struggle to stand. At the very least, he is detailed all the way around, so this figure is a sight to behold. Now the feet, they are the things that go very quickly because this guy's pretty darn heavy, so like I said, use a stand. You don't want him toppling over like mine has, multiple times. Where's he going to go? In the background, of course. That's where a villain always goes in a poster-style display. Whether it's Darth Vader looming large in the background over a Star Wars poster, or in this instance, General Zod behind the Flash display, I'm pretty happy with popping him up there and having his arms spread like, hey, look at me, I'm starting up the world engine. Yeah, just ignore my commentary. General Zod up the back. Next up, a third-party figure. Unfortunately, Hot Toys never made Faora, and that's a darn shame. She kicked ass in Man of Steel. This figure, for those of you looking to find her, good luck, unfortunately, she is very hard to find. She's called the Lady Commander by Zensation. The head sculpt is good. I think it looks like Faora. Don't forget, this is an older release, so it's not going to stack up to modern-day Hot Toys. The skin texture is kind of soft. And her neck, there's a step down between the head sculpt and the neck. However, when you angle it forward, it doesn't look half bad. With the body swap, she might be even better. The cape is terrible, very crinkly, and she does have this collar which is a little bit see-through. I'm not sure if that's really supposed to stick up or sit down. The armor, some pieces of metal. Always like some die cast, I know y'all do as well. Now the suit underneath the armor is screen printed, nowhere near as much as Zod, and it's a little bit baggy for some reason. The holster that her knife slots into is die cast, and the pleather strap has luckily survived the test of time. The armor itself is an asymmetrical design. We have different armor plates from one side to the other. Just like General Zod, she doesn't like to stand. Noticing a trend with these Kryptonians. Where is she going to go? She also has to go in the background. She is a villain. She is still important to the story of Man of Steel and potentially the Flash. So I'm going to pop her right up the back there alongside General Zod. It looks a bit sparse at the moment. I know, there are gaps everywhere. There's a lot of white space. We will be filling it out, just like you saw at the start of the video. We've got plenty more figures to go into this display. Next up, a figure that I haven't reviewed yet. I do plan to because he's quite frankly brilliant. It's the E. Joe Customs and Daft Toys Alfred. I have wanted a Jeremy Irons Alfred for the collection for a very long time, and thank goodness this one is very, very solid. That head sculpt, chef's kiss. Joe and Daft Toys, y'all killed it with this head sculpt. The likeness to Jeremy Irons, especially with the glasses on point. The skin texture, the 5 o'clock shadow, the wrinkles, the moles, the hair, the way it's swooshing off to the side. So happy with that head sculpt. He does have multiple different outfits. This one's just the one with the apron on, and multiple straps and buckles and bits and pieces. Super intricate. You can pop his tools in the pocket up the top if you want to. My favorite accessory he comes with, the empty Justice League Batman cowl. So if you want to have him displayed with Batman and that cowl, having Bruce hold it, you can. There's even some skin texture painted on his forearms if you have his sleeves rolled up, and his signet ring on his hand. The military style boots, yeah, they work. This version of Alfred being a little bit younger, you could believe that he could kick your ass potentially with his SAS training or military background or whatever the heck they decided to go with in the end in the Snyderverse for Alfred. I will be the first to admit that this display right now, it's looking very random. We have Faora, General Zod, and Alfred? Don't worry, it will start to make a lot more sense when we get Bruce Wayne out here, when we get Barry out here, and certainly when we get Batman out here in the Batsuit. This side, the right side of the Flash display, it's going to be a lot more cohesive. Trust me. But before we get to the right side, let's focus on the left side with a custom/kit bash. Let's just call it a kit bash. The body is the Hot Toys tuxedo from the Bruce Wayne from the Batman Returns 2-pack. So it's Michael Keaton's tuxedo and body. But the head sculpt is actually from Toy Zero's Vulture, and it works here. It's an older Michael Keaton. The sculpt is solid. It's done by Yixi, a Hot Toys level artist. And the tailoring on the suit, it is a Hot Toys suit, so it's pretty strong. It's not perfect. Nowadays, Hot Toys could definitely do better. Back in the day, they were a little bit baggier, as you can see down by the tops of his shoes. Overall, it's not a perfect custom/kit bash by any means. It still gets the job done. If you want an older Bruce Wayne to represent the Flash, then grab yourself the Vulture, pop him in your Spider-Man display, take the Bruce Wayne head sculpt, pop him on a generic body, grab a tuxedo, and there you go. Bruce Wayne. And you don't have to do a tuxedo if you want to do a different outfit, a different suit, something more casual, something even more formal. Not sure how you'd accomplish that. Okay, go ahead and get that done. This head sculpt is strong enough, especially from a distance, that it screams Bruce Wayne and Michael Keaton. Speaking of Bruce Wayne, it's the other Bruce Wayne, the DCEU version, my favorite Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck. And this custom I actually did focus on. I did a showcase on the channel as a YouTube Shorts review. It's the Topo outfit set. The body is actually from a stealth suit Captain America, the 1.0, and the head sculpt is not the Hot Toys head sculpt. It's the 11 one. I just can't get over how good this head sculpt looks. He looks angry, he looks determined. There is the 5 o'clock shadow down below, sculpted and painted, the moles, wrinkles, it's all there. Then the suit, you don't need any padding with this suit, it just hugs the body in all the right places. And it comes with the tie bar and the collar pin. You can, of course, go with a different body if you don't like my choice of body, you find it too big and bulky. I just wanted him to be absolutely enormous, and that's why I went with this one. In BVS, Ben Affleck was jacked. He was a monster. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, honestly. I have a very high bar for my customs and my kit bashes. If they don't turn out exactly how I wanted them to, how I was expecting them to, they won't even make it into the collection, let alone a collection series video. I think the number one complaint will be that his neck is too short, which I reckon actually adds to the bulky look that I was going for. We do need a Batfleck, and the one that I decided to go with for the following reasons: the blue tint to the suit, the custom cowl that I have from Zhao 3D Modeler painted by Rock Bao, and the Jackson Ju cape, is the Hot Toys Justice League Batsuit. This is a great figure out of the box, no question. If you like this stock cowl and the stock cape, totally fine. For me, the tab sticking up and the cape being super thick was very annoying. I wanted one that draped perfectly over the shoulders, and that's why I went with the Jackson Ju drape cape. The rest of the figure is flawless. I can't fault it. There's texture on the suit, there's a lot of detail to look at, and overall, it's just a very visually pleasing figure. The custom cowl that I have on the right links to Zhao 3D Modeler and Rock Bao, the painter who actually painted this, in the description below. Popping it on the body, oh, it's a night and day difference. The stock cowl is fine. Seeing this one on the body, the likeness is even more accurate to Ben. There's even more stubble and skin texture. The traps being as bulky as they are leading down to the shoulders with the custom cape. I cannot get over how good this cowl looks. Check my Insta for pics of this cowl. They will go live hopefully around the same time as this video, because up close, this is a beautiful cowl. It is a necessary upgrade to Justice League Batman, and having his eyes looking up, oh, he looks even more mean and menacing. The only tricky part about having his eyes look up is you can't necessarily tilt the cowl overly far down. So that means when we pop him in this display with the camera angled sort of looking up towards him, he does look a little bit bored, and that is not the fault of the painter Rock Bao. That's how I said I wanted the eyes done. I said I wanted them looking up and forward, because when I display him, I'm looking down at him. So that meanness with him looking up and being all broody, I get the full force of that in my actual collection, just not so much in this video. I hope that makes sense. Oh, it's Keaton time, and I cannot tell you how happy I am with this custom. This is my first time ever buying anything from Unreal Toys, and I had no idea that his work would be as unreal as his name is. I am so sorry. Seriously though, this is basically a conversion kit to turn your Hot Toys Batman Returns figure into the modern suit. The cowl, the cape, and the belt, all Unreal Toys. I can't fault the work. There's skin texture. There's some subtle 5 o'clock shadow. The painting is beautiful. You can even make out his nose underneath the nose of the cowl, which the Hot Toys one doesn't have. And this is actually accurate to the film. You should be able to see his nose under there. The sides of the cowl don't stick out anywhere near as much as the Hot Toys official one. Now, the suit, like I said, is just the Hot Toys suit. It's rubbery and it comes with all the drawbacks that it did originally. It can't really pose. For those thinking that the belt is just the stock belt painted black, nuh-uh, this is a brand new resin printed sculpted belt by Unreal Toys, painted in black with new canisters, and it's accurate to the film. The boots are the same as the return suit. Now the cape, initially I thought this was leather because it's super thick and it smells like leather. Lucky from Unreal Toys said no, it's pleather. It is, however, very nicely wired, and it works for a drape, or if you want to have it fluttering off in the wind with dynamic poses. I always struggle with wired capes. Usually they're the bane of my existence and I cannot get them to look good. This time, I have no problem recommending Lucky's cape. This Unreal Toys cape, the head sculpt and the belt, I am over the moon with how this turned out, and thank you so much to Unreal Toys for agreeing to sell me the prototype. This is the master copy. It's the one and only. I have popped the link to Lucky's Insta, Unreal Toys, in the description below. I have said Unreal Toys so many times, so if you don't know who made this, I don't know how to help you, I guess check the description. It is Unreal Toys. Alongside Affleck, he is shorter, and that is pretty accurate. Michael Keaton is shorter than Ben Affleck. So we are completing both sides of the display pretty nicely. To go in the middle, of course, the Flash. Now let me just say this, a disclaimer, I do not support any of Ezra's nonsense. Enjoying the film, liking the character, enjoying Ezra's performance as Barry Allen, that does not mean that his actions are condoned or forgotten in any way. Just want to put that out there. Now, because the Hot Toys Flash isn't out yet, I had to go with the Justice League one. And that's fine with me. This is a stunning figure. There is a lot to look at here. I do have an unmasked Barry Allen head sculpt, which is good, yet not perfect. I think the biggest issue is his eyes are a little bit offset, too wide apart, and that's what's throwing off the likeness. Still, it looks like him, there is skin texture, and I particularly like the helmet hair. It looks like he just had a helmet on. It's a magnetic head sculpt, so swapping it out is very, very straightforward. As I said just before, there is a lot to look at. You've got straps and panels and the little flash symbol, which is a separate piece, so do be careful. The suit is screen printed, you've got all the little wires and buckles and just so much surface detail. This, some people might say, is busy. For me, I like the design. I always have, and I think I always will. Do I prefer the new Flash suit from the new film, kind of that New 52 inspired look? Hell yeah, I do. That is my favorite live action Flash suit ever. So when we eventually get that one, and we get the blue suited Batman with the Bat Bike and all the other characters from the Flash film by third party companies and otherwise, please, a Supergirl, then I'll do an updated version of this video and we'll see a much more complete, fingers crossed, Flash display. But right now, if you wanted to represent this movie in your collection, chances are it'd look pretty similar to this. Now, maybe minus some of the custom pieces. Don't forget, I have popped the links to Unreal Toys, Jackson Zhu, Rock Bao, the painter who painted my Affleck head sculpt, and Zhao 3D Modeler, the sculptor who sculpted that head sculpt, all in the description below. I love highlighting custom stuff. Do let me know if you want more in-depth videos on any of the custom pieces you've already seen in this video in the comment section down below. There are a couple of figures that I really wanted to include in this. The only reason why I didn't, spoilers, maybe next time. So this is the final poster style display. What do I mean by that? There's symmetry on both sides, leading your eye up to either General Zod in the background looming large, or Flash in the middle. Now, I didn't go with dynamic poses on purpose. Dynamic poses, they take up more width, more depth, and most of the time, they obscure detail on the suits. So I went simple character/museum poses. When you're putting together a poster style display, that's my recommendation. Keep it simple. If you are heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.